Shalom.
Shalom.
I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash.
a double honor to the apostle of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity. Overall, the house of David by Yahushua Dawadah. All right, we back out here once again. Hebrew Israelite come in week out to prophesy the downfall of this here, aka what it is, America, aka Babylon the Great, and also to let our people know who are the true Hebrew Israelites. And I'm going into you so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Americans. Of course, we know we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, so we are mingled amongst other nations, right? Okay. And now we want to get into what's going on now. Now, what we out here always pushing is prophecy. Okay. If I get that revelation,
This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord, Hamashiach Yahushai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting.
The 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Okay? Now, when you go back into that, he said the 12 tribes. Who they're going to? Israel. Okay? Like he said in he basically, when you go into the Israel, that's who is within the branch, okay, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You notice how they want to just say Abraham, the father of us all. They want to continue that speech saying Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because what it's doing, it's excluding a lot of the heathen nations.
It's more broader.
Right.
So when you narrow it down to Isaac and Jacob, you get more specific to the spirit who he's talking to.
Yeah, that's why, like, the woman that was at the well in John 4, that's why he was saying that. He was like, I perceive you to be a prophet. We all, wrote the paraphrase, she said Abraham is the father of us all. But, Abraham was even the father of a lot of the other nations. You got Ishmael in there, and the descendants from them, and you have, like you said, other kids, but other than that, who was that, Moab, Ammon. Yeah, they ain't not a part, so you cannot say that. That's not really valid when you try to go into that.
Even the Duke Edom.
That's right.
Even the Duke Edom.
That's right. And Yahushua knew that lady was an implant. During the time frame of King Solomon the fifth.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
The dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Because did we just say we were mingled amongst other nations? So if your spirit resonates with you, you get this understanding, and you're not a so-called Black, Latino, or Native American, this very much well be, you may very much well be an Israelite. Even some Edomites,
Yeah, the appear to be,
But like you say, overall, the nation of Israel is who's going to be delivered, and now we get to the point. It's the two, even the elect. The 2/3 won't even get out this what's coming upon the earth. That's right.
And this is Tobit 13:3. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye sons of Israel.
Ain't that what we're doing now? We're confessing Yahweh Shem Yahushua amongst our people, amongst the other nations, the heathen nations. We're out here confessing.
That's right. For he hath scattered us among them.
So that's why when you have, you see a so-called African, which is the Hamite, you be like, man, there's something about him. I ain't never had no Hamite acting cool like this. Hey, he may have a spirit of the nation of Israel.
Yeah, because Jacob got that salt. Yep. So you see people quote unquote swagged up, and they got a different type of walk about themselves, a different type of countenance about themselves, because we're royal people. Yep. Right. So even though someone may appear to be a Hamite or an Edomite or of another heathen nation, whether it's Ammon or Moab, if they got that particular salt that routes back to the forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, like you said, you may very well be an Israelite.
That's right. Yeah, if I can just add, because one thing I noticed about that correlating trait with Jake, they're very comfortable in themselves. And you said that we're a royal people. When somebody is royal, it's like a poised confidence.
Right.
So, you get around those Jake look like Edomites, like, why he so cool?
Exactly.
Why he so cool around me? You look at those, Jake, or like so-called Ham, they really be Jake. Like, why he so poised? Why he so, their royal demeanor? Because you be around actual Hamites, and it's like they sit different, they talk different. They have no salt about them, man.
No flavor. And you look at Jake in a poor state or poor condition, he'll be more flavorful, right? Or equally as flavorful as someone in the middle class or someone in the upper class. You know, because Jake just know how to carry himself, man. No matter the situation, circumstance, because we are a royal nation, man, a chosen nation, royal priesthood, man.
So we don't, even though Jake probably don't know how in the world, but he carries himself like he's supposed to be royalty, but he don't even know it. You know, he might be doing wicked things, but still, like you said, he's gonna stand out among the other heathen nations. Somebody among the heathen.
And this Exodus 1:19, and the midwives said to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, they are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
Like,
You know what I'm saying? Going back to that lively spirit, man. You go to any country where our people scatter to, and you can see the vibration upon it that you know through the spirit. Those Israelites, man. You know, no matter the color or how they look, you know what I'm saying? Anything that sort, man. That's why a lot of these people call themselves Israelites and not spiritual enough to know that, you know, because we're gonna be looking like the other nations. Like those people that, like Apostle Tar brought out earlier, those people protesting over there about the free Palestine, things of that sort. A lot of them are Israelites, man. They look like those other nations. So, you know?
Right. Got that scripture again, bro?
Okay. It's Exodus 1:19. And the midwives said to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
Hey, they are lively. Who is that famous Olympus black chick? She's actually an Israelite. She don't want all these. Yeah. And Miss Bowles, man, when you go into their term in the Hebrew for lively, it's Strong's H 2422, pronounced as kaya, which means lively, vigorous, strong, and robust. Now, when you think about her performing those Olympics, look how lively she is. You know, Edomite women can't do that. Hamite women can't do that. That type of talent this woman has within her, it comes from the spirit because she's an Israelite, man.
Hey, bro, said she did something this week. People had never seen.
Not known of.
Oh my goodness.
She's lively.
Man.
You had that one Israelite woman that was an ice skater back in the day. I saw a documentary on her. She was that one Israelite woman. She was an Olympian ice skater. So she was hitting backflips like it was nothing on blades.
Yeah.
And then, like going back to lively.
Lively.
She was hitting backflips like it was none on that ice.
Robust. You know?
It's Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself bearing witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
Our spirit do bear witness. We know, and that's true, because you see these gutter wrestlers over there in the land, they don't got no swag, they ain't got no flavor. All they got is, they got the riches of the land, the riches of the world. In Job 9:24, the earth will give to the hands of the wicked. Okay, so how, if the earth will give to the hands of the wicked, and we're supposed to be basically serving our punishment in this present time, how are they flourishing with Hollywood, with all the gold? How is this being caused back? Why is this happening? How are they the chosen people when they supposed to be in a lowly state? But yet, but we at the lowly state.
That's right.
That's going back. Look at the curses. Look what the Lord said. Look at what happened in prophecy. Okay, who did that match up with? When you go down to the hood, who do you have a tire shop? You have a so-called black man with a tire shop. Then right next door, you have a Mexican with a tire shop. And then they up there beefing with one another.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't lie. Going back to the penitentiary. You know, the Jacob, you know, the southern and the northern kingdom.
Right, the division.
Yep.
Right. And then, all that is put up by who? Esau, because even like the penitentiary, we didn't have, it was more Edomites in the penitentiaries getting into the 50s and 60s. And all of a sudden, they came together and said, let's do this, and try to, going into like the 70s and 80s. I think Crazy Bone had an interview that basically spoke on this. He said that basically they had a meeting, some of the rappers and everything, and with these Edomites, they didn't know who they were. And they told them basically, we're going to set up with the prison system. We're going to go ahead and put it in the music, set everything up to basically start getting Jake into prison.
Well, you did a video on that. Black culture was basically cultivated by the so-called white man. Started with Tupac. And those are archetypes that they wanted us to follow. That's why you had the word role model. Those are men who are modeling out a role that they wanted the 12 tribes to follow for the prison industrial complex.
right.
Because the prison industrial complex was the new form of slavery. All right, that's where you have capitalism, free labor.
right.
And you know, and what got exposed, so many corporations had their products mass produced in the prison industrial complex because you ain't gotta pay them shit.
Right.
You know?
And if y'all watch the latest Kwame Brown fiasco, he had Joe Brown on there. And Joe Brown was breaking all that shit down. He stated that basically how they wanted to feminize the men so they wouldn't be warlike. So in a nutshell, they don't want World War III. He was talking about way back there in the 40s and 50s. And then he said, and even for Jake, what did they try to do? Well, basically, they created the pimps and the hustle roles to basically desynthesize them to do wrong, man.
Yeah.
Just turn everything upside down.
Exactly.
It's almost like a role reversal. You know?
Yeah, this Deuteronomy chapter 28. Stop. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
And that's the benefit of the curses. Because when you go into that term curses, it's actually going into the indignation of Yahweh Shem Shah, which means what? Righteous anger. Why? Because basically this is what we must suffer for breaking the law, statutes, and the commandments. And also, because of these curses, there are labels in this time frame to let our people know that we are the Israelites based on the Spirit.
That's right. Right. Hey, that's why we got all these proverbs and bywords up on.
That's right.
That's why we was called one thing, then let's know we get in the 80s, they were like, we don't know what to call them color.
Yeah.
Then get a little further up, now we saying we niggas.
Yeah.
We don't want to call ourselves niggers, so we're going to say nigga. We try to make it sound cool, but what's the difference? Okay? Still a nigga. So that's the thing. We Jake thinks that, you know, hey, well, we got the salt, we can make things sound cool, but yet we still walking the same path that Esau wants you to walk. Okay? What is that? Sirach 12. Can we get that? Sirach 12 where it say your 12 and 12? Yeah, it was 12 and 10. Never trust thy enemy.
Oh, yeah.
This is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusts, so is his wickedness.
No matter what you see Esau do with giving you stimulus checks or whatever he does, he always got something in the back pocket. Like, I'm finna do this to him. So never think it's always gonna be candy and dandelion with Esau. Because he wants something in return, and something that you don't. That is gonna be a wicked exchange.
Right.
Always got in the gym.
Hey, bro, when you get done, jump down to 16 and 17 too.
No problem. Hey, verse 16. An enemy speak sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit.
Ain't this going into what we're going through?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I can say this with that. Every celebrity, well, majority of every Jake that Bill Cosby, all these guys that have become and made billions for Esau, if they try to change something or do something, or like Bill Cosby, I'm gonna try to get a by NBC.
Network, yeah.
That was in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. They still had that on their mind. So Esau, I mean, he let him make all this money, and when he got a certain age, they get rid of him. Not where he at.
Yeah.
The jailer put man in prison. You know?
That's a lesson to us. You know, going back to slavery, and the alpha males got killed. The tribal leaders in slavery and on the plantation, those the one that they made an example out of.
Yeah.
So that dominant Jake, though, because they didn't want the rest of the Jakes to get an idea of being dominant and speaking up for themselves.
Yeah.
So that dominant Jake, that's the one that put the tar on and the feathers and put his legs towards the horses and went opposite ways. That's what they did with Bill Cosby. Showing you, like, nah, nigga, you stay down here.
Hey, that's a headshot to masculinity.
Yeah.
You get the biggest, the strongest, the darkest Jake, and you break them before everybody. So now the weaker Jake that are fearful, they're looking at it like, God damn, shit, if he went through that, what the fuck would they do to me?
And they show you, like you said, they go from killing the strong, and whoever see somebody trying to uprise, like a Jake saying, you know, what they do, they'll buck break them.
Yeah.
You know, and what do they call when they buck break somebody? when you see that Jake know that's wicked and that's wrong, that's gonna make you be like, man, I gotta be like basically subjective.
I gotta stay in line.
I gotta stay in line because I don't want that happening to me.
That's right.
That destroys your manhood.
That destroys
Yeah.
your manhood. And Esau, you know, he's not a real man. He always has a feminine spirit.
That's right.
Matter of fact, I've had an Edomite say that all Edomite men got some type of homosexual tendency.
Yeah, cause they did Tiger Woods that way. They you know, they ain't butt breaking like physically. They done him or gave him some kind of beating, like a public beating from everybody.
A public beat.
They gave him a
They forced him to come down here in Mississippi to what you call when you
Rehab?
Yeah, he had to go to sexual rehab or something,
Yeah.
something of that nature. You know what I mean?
I think it was Hattiesburg, right?
Yeah.
I think it was Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Back in Ecclesiasticus 12 and 16, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit, and the pit is this system. Basically, how he's going to keep you oppressed within this system.
You know, if I can just expound, me and the brother Yasha's going into a snare. Because the elders of Birmingham, the elder brothers of Birmingham was going into snare. It's like the snare doesn't really trap you. It's your own lust that traps you. So going back to that pit is like a trap. It's a system. The system, it traps you because it entices you with your own lust.
That's right.
All right, women.
Yeah.
It promotes women in sex and you got child support. Street culture is nothing but a snare for the 12 tribes. Every other Israelite man at some point in his life wanted to be a street cat. But they set up Jeezy and set up the T.I.'s, Gucci Mane, for that snare. What was the snare? The prison industrial complex. But they baited you in with their get-rich-quick lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
You know?
As it says, a wicked plot against the just.
Yep, that's a plot.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, it started with NWA. You used to have, you know, I remember some self-destruction. They were talking about lips in so-called black community and all that. Yeah. Then next thing you know, you brought out niggas with attitude.
Yeah.
You know, boys in the hood.
Yeah.
They said we're gonna sway y'all positive thinking and get you more in the gutter and get you thinking like, you know, when we think about something and feel like, hey, whatever we put our mind to, it's gonna flourish, whether it's positive or wicked. You know?
Yeah.
When we have a righteous thought and we run it, the Lord blesses. But when we have a wicked thought, the Lord is gonna basically keep pushing us forward to that condemnation. And we're gonna get condemned if we don't turn our ways. That's going back in the word, repentance.
That's right. That's right.
But Jake don't want to repent.
Back in the scripture, he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity,
Witchcraft with Esau. Okay? Esau getting ready to throw you in a pit. Okay? When we say Esau, you're talking about the so-called white man. He's getting ready to throw Jake in the pit. Martial law finna come down on him.
Yep.
You know, it's happening up there in Canada, was it like Ontario somewhere? They basically said they gave the police the right, if you're just out in the streets, they can have the right to say where you going, where your papers. Are you working? If not, you're supposed to be in the house.
that's right. That's right.
You don't think this is gonna happen here? After the summer, when it start getting back cold, let's believe if it don't happen before then, Esau's gonna say, if you ain't took that in your arm, you the one causing everybody to get back sick again.
Yeah.
So they've been basically cause a division. They've been cause uproar amongst the people. Second Ezra 15, 16 finna come into play big time.
That's right. That's right. And then what did Kamala say? What?
I was just looking it up.
Okay.
You know, she said, to the United Nations, we must prepare for the next pandemic.
So she's not a fucking prophet. So how can she prepare and say something is coming? How does she know that a pandemic is coming unless her hands is inside her? Unless she done been briefed, okay, this is the next thing that's gonna happen. So now you dumb idiots gotta take another vaccine that has nothing to do with C-19.
That's right. That's right.
Bill Gates stated this. He was like,
I'm so tired of this one.
yeah,
This was before, right?
yeah, he said, after saying we had pandemic 1, and we'll have pandemic 2, he says next time we'll get attention.
See, the next time. So how can these people tell you something that's gonna happen unless it's a pandemic? That doesn't make sense. The gods of this world.
See, that's still that crafty council too, man. You know, and that crafty council, of course, we know is set up to go tear down, you know, Jake the Israelite. But this crafty council consists of forwarding their new world order and whatever they have to do to accomplish that, man. Because we know that's not gonna happen. You know, how about Shimon gonna let them reach a certain peak, but they're not gonna reach that pinnacle that they really want, man. But that crafty council, man, is all about their world dominion, which is not going to happen.
Precept, please. You hold one?
I had a quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Good. He said that the tribes they're not gonna basically reach their pinnacle because this is Job 20:5. It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short,
That's right.
and the joy of the hypocrite but a moment.
Yeah, because it's gonna seem like they gonna get it, but when they're extending their hand to get it, the Most High is gonna knock that shit out their hand. Just like that, in that fashion, man.
It's like having a great meal set before you,
Yeah.
Right.
and right when you're about to fill your belly,
Yeah.
hit the mark. So like,
I mean, you done cut the meat
Right.
up, you done actually done put the fork into it, you about to put it inside your mouth.
Got your napkins prepared.
It's just like Jake back in school, like you get ready to eat a snack or something, Jake walk right by, smack it on the floor, and keep walking. You just stuff back in school, right? That's how most I can do Esau.
Yep. That puts you in the comfort zone. You think you got comfortable, you feeling off and eat. You relax. You ain't looking for no trouble.
That's a snare.
That's a snare.
That's a snare.
Eat this good food and get done, go fix another night. That's right there, man.
Job 20:6 says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, his
What you
head
talking
reach the
about? The
clouds.
satellites, all that spacecraft, but guess what? When he reached that pinnacle, that was his ceiling, right? And that's going into spoken of in the book of, actually the book of Obadiah, man. So, all right, so this man is not going to get to be another better version. No, this is it for him.
That's right. This is it. 7. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung.
Meaning what? After 1,000 years, okay, basically he's going to be burnt up. But, however, once Yahushua established rulership, he formed the kingdom of heaven through war. What's going to happen? We're going to gather them up. Damn, say.
There you go, bro.
Shit, I feel like a free snicking. 3 of them. But anyway, we're going to start in the east, and basically we're going to get all the Edomites, and they're going to be enslaved for 1,000 years. And after those 1,000 years, they're going to be burned up.
That's right. They which they have seen him shall say, where is he?
Right.
Yeah.
Is this the man?
Is this the man?
Yeah, because he's going back to that lower state. Because think about it. Hey, in the book of Genesis, what happened? That serpent, basically, it was ordained for him to go to a lower state. All right, and he's going back to that lower state once Yahushua comes.
And people think that he ain't gonna fall, man, especially here in Babylon, because they just, you always hear Jake, Esau, whatever, how America, the army, saying nobody can, they always saying us. And it's a very low thought, man, when you think about that nobody can beat it, because if you got a person somewhere who's bullying every damn body, eventually, somebody gonna run the right one, they're gonna gang up on his ass.
It never
man.
fails.
Yeah,
It never fails.
It never.
Yeah, and that's what the prophet Obadiah was completely solely for. And that's why it coined it, what? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
That's right. That's right. But see, you got to think about this too. When you see these great dynasties like Detroit, Chicago Bulls, during that time frame, they seem unbeatable until they're beat.
Right.
Right.
Back in Job 20, jump to verse 23, it says, when he is about to fill his belly,
When he is about to fill his belly, go ahead.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him.
And what's the fury of Yahweh Bashem Basham's wrath? Hey, sending Yahushua, the second coming of our Lord and Savior, man.
And shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Right. And what's going to happen? Nuclear destruction, man. And laser beams being sent from Yahushua. Okay. Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, for the insurrection of the works of iniquity.
Right, and who is that? Esau Edom, because this whole system is designed to harass us, man. All right, to oppress us. Somebody get Daniel 7:25? That's what that system was designed for. All right, we came to America because Yahweh Bashem Bashah was going to do bitterly with us. That's why when you jump back to the book of Ruth, in the first chapter, what did Naomi say? Naomi said, no longer call me Naomi, but call me Mara, because the Most High has done bitterly to me. All right, so long story short, okay, Mara is where you get the term America from. It derives from that Hebrew term, which means bitter. Okay, and that's the reason why the 12 tribes are stuck in the position they're in, but you do have a few, hence the elect, that understands these conditions and why and what happened and how to get out of these conditions.
Daniel, Daniel 7:25.
Yeah.
It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High.
The he is in the form of America, because Esau controls America. Okay, going back into what? Job 9:24. Go ahead.
It's in the house of the weak.
The house of the deep, yo.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. How so? With the system, this pit. Okay, when you go into wear out, it means harass in the Hebrew. Constantly you're being harassed from a spiritual standpoint and from a physical standpoint. Okay? You didn't come here to thrive, man. That's the reason why Jake sell their fucking souls, because they're trying to escape the curses, but you can't escape it. All right, the only way out of the curses is this word, man.
And that's why the scripture says that the gift destroyeth the heart.
Yeah.
And because it was already prophesied that ye shall go into your enemy in one of all things. And you get these cursed individuals from this tribe sign right here, who sell their soul and their bodies, sell their anuses
Yeah.
to the oppressor, to the enemy, just to get crumbs from his table. Because even though you may have millions and billions of dollars, so to speak, you still a puppet
Yeah.
until your slave master, man. And that's what y'all don't understand.
Damn Dwayne Wade sold his soul for a goddamn game show.
Right. I think it's gonna be whack.
Nobody gonna watch this shit.
Everybody watch that crap.
Hey, it's a movie that came out some years back called Hoodlum, and you had the Dutch, who was this mob boss, right? He had this Jake that was his hitman, and it was like some little, leftover food that him and his little sheriff been eating to Edomites, and the Jake that was working for him, he told him, go and take this to your family, to back what you just said about the crumbs. And he was like, no, I'm good. He was like, go and take it to your family. They hungry, y'all ain't nothing. And so he got it, and he was like, thank Dutch. He was like, it's nothing. Straight up. So these little crumbs, my point is the crumbs that you getting from these devils, selling your soul, selling your anus, nothing, man. And you're gonna be destroyed for taking what's just nothing.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and look at R. Kelly on I Wish.
Yeah.
What was that scripture his mom quoted?
Was it
What she said?
that was the scripture, what does it profit man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?
But what did R. Kelly say? I want out, mama.
Yeah.
I want out.
Damn.
But it's hard.
Can't go nowhere.
It's hard.
Get addicted to that shit.
And hey, that's what Jay-Z said about those bright lights. He said, God damn it, I like it.
That's right. Nick
You know?
Cannon. Nick Cannon had to
Cannon?
fold up like a chair, man.
Yeah.
Hey, because when you get what you call counsel, you
Yeah.
know, when you get that counsel, that counsel treatment, it hit different, man.
Yeah.
Hey, your boy Kanye West, remember he stated it
Yeah.
on the Eyes Closed lyrics? He said he sold his soul to the devil. That's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a happy meal.
Right. And how did his so-called mom die? Low blood pressure. So he sacrificed his mom. That's why he said on another song, my mama died because she couldn't take that pressure.
I had a dream that I bought my way to heaven, woke up and I spent it on the necklace.
Yeah.
It is,
So what heaven did he buy? Esau's heaven by selling his soul. Get one of your favorite scriptures. Get Psalm 57 verse 6.
This is Psalm 57, verse 6.
Right?
They have prepared a net for my steps.
Right. Get that net, Chikai.
yeah, blue in the Bible.
Please, Baba Bashar. And now get Isaiah 9:16. Because the only way Jake can actually get a good head start or incline within the system, he has to sell out. Okay, he has to, because all that is required from Yahweh Shem Shah is to give us our daily bread. And that's it. Having food, shelter, and clothing, and transportation. Okay? All right, so we can be beneficial to do this work. But you motherfuckers that want to be millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires, the Most High is not with that, man. And you can tell basically what they're doing is wrong, because after they sell their souls, what do they say? Life was much better when I was broke.
They being broke is better.
Yeah, from Eminem to DMX, all of them, man. J. Cole.
J. Cole said he wish he can go back to Jermaine.
That's right.
And he want a piece of that common his life so bad. He ride around the bicycle in the streets of New York because he just want to be normal, man.
Yeah. But then that's why DMX said, if you can't see it, then it wasn't meant for you to see, but you can't blame me. You know, in hell where the soul can't do it. Talking about them conditions, man.
It was an interview with a rapper on it. I can't remember his name, but he said, take you to a room. You got one door over here, you got one door over there.
Noriega. And guess what? And you see his podcast is booming now. Because at first he didn't want to go through that door, but look at him now. They got him.
They took that route to that room.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna do something in your life to make you come back.
That's right.
Like he said, he got talent. So
That's
we're gonna
right.
make him. If he be like, nah, I'm out. He didn't go through that door. He go and do his everyday life. He may have hard times, cops pulling over, kids messing.
Yeah.
He might be thrown in and out of jail here and there.
That's right.
So eventually he gonna be like, I'm ready to go through the door.
Or they can put a freeze on your bank account too.
Dave Chappelle.
I was
Dave
just
Chappelle.
Yeah, come on in. Hey, so for that word net, in the Hebrew is rashak, and it says for catching, judgment, figuratively, leaders leading people to sin.
Of leaders leading people to sin. Okay, how so? Dwayne Wade teaching that masculinity is bad and how his woman leads him. And then letting his so-called son be a bitch. And like Judge Joe Brown say, what did he say? How in the world can you let your son be gay when he ain't never had a hard on?
That's what I'm saying.
That it don't make sense.
ain't
It
been
don't
with a
make. But see, these niggas don't give a fuck about you or theirs. They want that money, and they would do any and every. If a nigga kill his mama or sacrifice his son to Molech, who the fuck are you on outside looking in? They don't care about you, man. We're your real leaders, beginning with the apostles of Great Millstone and the sincere man of Great Millstone. Man. All these other niggas are born and to be bought and paid for. And how do you know it's manifested within their actions, man?
Created to be destroyed.
Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men.
Hey, Dwayne Wade is a wicked man. And I don't trust Kwame Brown because the nigga been flashing too many fucking signs, man. And just like yesterday, I watch everything. That nigga had like a bunny, but he had the skulls and bones under it. So I believe you control our position, man. I don't trust none of you niggas.
That's right. If you ain't in this truth, I don't trust you.
Exactly. And what P say, man, I don't even trust my motherfucking mom.
Spirit, some days don't trust myself.
You gotta have fun with this thing, man. Go ahead, man.
They lay wait as he that set of snares. They said
The snares. They lay snares about what? Philosophies.
Yeah, you just went into one of the snares.
Yeah,
They have cast a snare for my people.
that's right.
And then we went into that definition. That snare was leaders causing the people to sin. So like we said earlier, Esau set up the two pots and the NBA players and all that to control the direction that he wants our people to go.
Right. Yeah. And these people have such notoriety in today's time. They know they had to, because they've been exposed to every aspect of living itself. The poverty, the middle class, the upper class, the rich class, the white elites. They rub elbows with every type of person in society. So you don't think they have to stumble across their heritage and understand that who they are according to the Bible? They have. But this life is too pleasant. You know, when you have the particular goods of this world, it's hard to revert back to some old custom, some old tradition.
Yeah.
Especially if your wife, I think it's a lot of times that woman too.
Yeah.
That wife got hooked on that lifestyle.
Yeah. Or it could be you.
Yeah.
But
Cause
he started, so like,
Go ahead, bro.
he started to show you that by, let's do Michael Jordan example. His wife never bounced the ball, none of this shit. But look how much she got from, cause what? She was accustomed to that lifestyle.
So
That was Gary Owens. Gary Owens,
Oh yeah.
his wife won $44,000 a month.
Yeah.
You didn't Gary Owens. His wife won $44,000. But like you said, it's you too, because it's the lust inside you that draws you to make those decisions.
like you say, that's what your lust leads you to the snares.
Yep.
That's why you have to be born again. You know?
Kill the flesh.
You have to kill the flesh, man.
That shows you the elites of Esau, like they real like masterminding with the shit. Because us as a people, we like we the superheroes compared to other nations. So we every superhero have what? A kryptonite.
Right.
So what deprived us or harmed us is the curses, is the sins. As it says, the wages of sin is death. So Esau masterminded, okay, we can get them go off by giving them pork for a better price instead of like foods like lamb or like something more sufficient to us according to our laws. Or we can set up the woman above the man.
Right.
He throw out them little snares and nets because continue to do that, he gonna keep us down there at the
That's
low,
it.
at the bottom of the totem pole. Man.
Getting Judah 5 and 20.
Yeah, so because
You know, and then he knows the study of the spirit through the form of psychology.
Yep.
See, he knows you better than you.
That's right.
So 2/3 of our people, and then he knows it's all spiritual. So what he does is he gets you to continue to sin against Yahweh Shem Shai, and that way they feel that they can continue to run their kingdom.
That's right.
All right, it's all about the separation. The more separate they are, divide and conquer from Yahweh Shem Shai. He's not gonna come back and save his people. But they never factor in the elect.
That's right.
They never factor in the elect.
hey, because going to the book of Psalm 83rd chapter, how it goes to how they consulted against our hidden ones. And hidden ones is really talking about the Most High's treasure, the elect.
That's right.
Because 2/3 of our people are already compromised through this system.
Yeah.
So, but the ones that he can't get through the spirit are the hopeful elect, man.
And guess what? Treasures actually goes back to that term, peculiar people. Really starting with the elect. Before New speak, peculiar meant treasure. Treasure. Okay? Hey, give me that real fast in Isaiah 9:16.
Is it 6:13?
Well, yeah, Isaiah, you know that.
This is Isaiah chapter 6, verse 13. He winketh with his eyes. He speaketh with his feet.
And that's what they do. They wink with their eyes. You know, that's why you see these pictures with rappers with one hand covered over their eyes. They're letting they're pushing their agenda. All right, they're letting other insiders know that they're down with this satanic agenda.
Hey, what did it say, y'all? The words of his mouth was smoother than butter.
Yeah.
What was in his heart?
Yeah, you know,
Esau's a maniac.
I'm telling you, man. And then our people are under him as being maniacs because you're willing to do any and everything to basically attain this so-called American dream. And what Jim Jones said, one of the hardest lyrics I've ever heard in my life, he said, the feds will snatch you out your dream. No, the feds will snatch you out your sleep and charge you for dreaming, man. They give you the goddamn game. They put the drugs in your neighborhood. They give you the guns. They put the hoes. They put the liquor stores, and then they charge you for it.
Yep.
Saying it's your fault. When they created these conditions.
That's
man.
right. That's right.
All right, go ahead.
He teacheth with his fingers.
Right, he teaches with his fingers. That's why they throwing up pyramids. All right, that's why they be throwing up the devil horns and so on and so forth. Okay,
Hey, this Freemason guy,
Mason stance. How they be, some way stance and some Mason stance.
Standing in your square.
Standing on your square.
hey, this is a guy named Manly Hall. I think that's who get the Hall Freemasonry too. But he says symbolism is the language of the mysteries. By symbols, men have ever sought to communicate to each other those thoughts which transcend the limitations of language.
Symbols, hand gestures. Hey, the hidden hand when they put inside their jacket. Okay, standing on your square, like the elder was saying, which goes back to those Masonic rituals.
Yeah, because we call it the fucking Moors. They're basically Masons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically Masons. That's where you standing on your square. They have you on that. But the Moors were like they created their blueprint for masonry. You know, Esau just brought when he came in power, he took that.
Yeah.
You know?
It was the actual picture of Jay-Z. He was sitting down, but he was sitting down, forming himself like the Baphomet.
And behind him was a picture of the Baphomet. It's one of those interviews that came out.
Yeah.
And behind him was an Andy Warhol picture of the Baphomet. You know?
Hey, Jay-Z, all of them were set up to, like you say, call our people to go astray and get put in these snares. You mentioned, who was that? Tupac. I just saw an interview with Michael John White. He was like him and Tupac was school in the world. And he was like, Tupac, they would meet people meet Tupac and him, and they were talking to him. When you look at him, like, man, he looked a lot like Tupac. Because he wasn't portraying Tupac the rapper. He was just being Tupac.
He's been a kill then.
A kill, yes. That's what it been. But when you see him in front of the TV, he's spitting on media, rapping to him, I'm going to do this to you and that to you. But all in all, this dude is, he was an actor.
That's it.
What did he go to Juilliard? He went to some school in New York, him and Jada Pinkett.
Yeah.
So he was trained to basically lead you.
And he was gay.
And he was gay.
He was a known homosexual, yo.
That's Psalms 57 and 6. Was that something?
Yeah.
They have cast a, you don't have to get it, but I was quoting it. they have cast a snare for my people. And you looked up to their word snare, and it said leaders causing our people to sin. Tupac was one of the leaders that caused our people to sin.
That's right. And because it's not just a solo exclusive to the pastors, so-called pastors out there. You know, it says the leaders of these people cause in the air.
That's right.
And these so-called celebrities are looked up onto as idols.
Yeah.
You know, people literally bow down and worship them. They have them on their walls in their bedrooms. You know, they scream, they fall out for you. You know, Michael Jackson concerts.
Concerts falling out there on the street.
You know?
Hey, Beyonce, she got her own religion. It's called Bayism.
Yeah.
You know?
They're prototypes. Tupac was a prototype of how they wanted a nigga to be.
What you call them, demigods?
A demigod.
Yeah.
You know?
They going into that term black culture. Black body of light culture to develop. So what Esau has tried to do, no, what he has done was develop our nation, okay, with no light, without light, based on music, based on other philosophies going into Christianity, so on and so forth. Everything that Esau teaches you, leads you from Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shah.
And because what is life completely
Illuminates.
it's like what is life? You know, you got your spirituality, you got your physical health, and you got your conscious mind. Esau has a grasp on all those.
Yeah.
You know, so it's mission accomplished in the deterioration of the so-called black man in America. Mission accomplished upon the deterioration of the so-called Native American Indians in America. Completely.
Yep.
Hey, which goes right back ultimately to their blessing. Where it says in the book of Genesis 27, then I shall slay my brother Jacob. Those ways the brothers are mentioned through the Spirit. Isaiah 28:15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we in agreement.
Right, and who is hell? Who is death? Esau Edom. All right, by you selling your soul, that's that agreement with death. Okay, that's the reason. And guess what? The curses are still overrides everything. Because although these jakes sell their souls, basically they still not broke. They're still not happy. They still don't have any mirrors inside their home. They're still putting tattoos on their flesh so they can regain some form of masculinity.
Right. But the scripture says the curse is gonna follow thee and overtake thee, right?
Yeah.
So you know when you die, after you done sold your soul, doing all this, and you end up broke, you know what I'm saying? You end up in prison, or whatever the case may be, man. Them curses have finally overtaken you. You thought you had it, man. You thought you was in good standing. But at the end of the day, the curse is still gonna overtake you because that's the word of the Lord. That was prophecy for the nation of Israel, man.
He said, "Curse shall thou be coming in, and curse shall thou be going out." And precept with him.
It says, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us.
That's judgment day. And the reason why it would not come unto us, Lord, will be the hopeful elect. All right, we're going to be inside of Yahweh Shah's right hand, symbolically, man.
We're going to have that mark of exemption.
That's right.
Off the right side.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing this for, man, to be saved and to be kings in our next lives, man.
That's right, man.
So
First fruits.
that's what 2/3 say. It should not come unto us.
Yeah.
Then they're going to say this. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
In the form of this American dream. Okay? That's the main thing.
George Carlin say, you have to be, in order for you to dream, you have to be asleep.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that remind me of the scripture. Is that Wisdom Solomon said, "We fools count their lies as madness."
Yeah.
You know, because they sleep and slumber in lies and falsehoods in today's time, man.
Right.
And they do it purposely, willfully. That's why. What is that? The Father said that my people have rejected knowledge.
Proverbs 1. Yeah.
Like people say, like convention, it was death. Esau is what? Death and hell. He's the harbinger of death. So when 2/3 or when Jake followed Esau, what's going to happen? Lord said in Micah 2:10, come up out of her, my people. He was saying that, spiritually, and don't follow the ways of Esau. Okay? And if you follow the ways of Esau, you're gonna basically then he say death and hell be thrown into lake of fire.
So you're gonna be thrown into the lake of fire.
That's right.
You know, that's what and then like you say, we're gonna go. The ones that abide, as it said in Micah 2:10, is gonna go through like Revelation 18:4. Okay, that's spiritually we come out of the world. Micah 2:10, 18:4, we're gonna get beamed up spiritually.
That's right.
So the rest gonna be condemned like Esau and the rest of the heathen nations.
Yeah.
And join the head.
Because things start in the spirit and it manifests on earth.
That's right.
From a physical standpoint.
So that's why you had the oncoming, when Esau shot the implementation, the international implementation in your right hand and your forehead, and that's that making covenant with death. That's the ultimate making covenant with death.
That's it.
And then, like it says in the scriptures, if you take it, you can be thrown into the lake of fire too.
Yep. And because even cattle run away from the herdmen who's trying to capture them to plug their ear, you know, they have to rope them down, jump on them, hold them down, you know.
And then once you tag the ear, basically you mine. Wherever you go, somebody find you, they know you belong to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's Esau branding and taking ownership of you. So now he's taking you out of the hand of Yahweh Shai. But that's why Yahweh said what? He said, no man can pluck thee out of my hand because they are dying. You know, but that goes to the Heavenly Father's elect out there. So the others out there who the Heavenly Father did not desire, and they take the RFID microchip, you know, that was your particular portion of your lot. Because as it is written, there'll be many more of them that shall be created, right? Than of them that shall be saved.
And many more that will be destroyed.
Yep.
You know?
Many more shall perish than of them that shall be saved.
None.
Right.
I got a quick one. Let's see this said. All right, Second Ezra chapter 8, verse 1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few.
And that's what we're waiting on. Yeah, and that's the kingdom of heaven. Okay? And it will be formed or forged through war. Go ahead.
That's right.
All right.
And the many, I mean, you can take 2/3 of our people, okay, along with Esau and these other nations, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. Verse 2 and 3. I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much move, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh up. Even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved.
Right, and the reason why that many is created, why? Because basically they're back on earth this time frame to be judged, man. All right? They're back on earth to be judged. That's why when you go to what, John, the book of John, the 5th chapter, when it talks about some will be resurrected to life and some resurrected to death, or you're literally going to have during the second coming of Yahweh or the day of the Lord, individuals coming out of the grave, either to be beamed up or to be destroyed.
That's right.
Okay.
And because a lot of it's going to be very similar to when the Heavenly Father took Yahushua's life, when he took his spirit from him, you know, the temple rent, the earthquake, you know, the graves were opened up.
That's right.
It's going to be a repeat of cycle because the scripture says that there's no new thing under the sun. And the second Exodus is going to be more miraculous than the first one. Because the Heavenly Father, through phases of the time, he always outdoes himself.
That's right.
You know, he trumped the last event by trumping that event. You know? I got to preach something. Yeah, it's the book of Romans, chapter 14, verse 13. It says, let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way.
Right. So basically, hey, don't follow these entertainers, man. All right, go with the spirit. Now, from a spiritual standpoint, you know that these guys are off. So why in the world would you still want them to be a so-called idol when first and foremost, Yahweh Shai is against idols?
That's right.
Okay?
Romans 13 and 10, love worketh no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law.
Right, so Esau can't use that. Okay, because ever since we've been here under his subjection, he has been murdering and murdering and murdering.
Blocks.
Right, and placing stumbling blocks. And he uses our people to perfect these stumbling blocks, man. Okay? And love is a fucking action, man. All right? I'd rather for a person to actually show me than to tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
This is Ephesians 1. I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, according, that's sorry, 3. It says, blessed be power and Yahweh of our Lord Mashiach Yahweh Shai, who has blessed us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Mashiach.
A spiritual blessing, and the main spiritual blessing is what? The ability to prophesy. All right, learning these scriptures, edifying yourself, and then going out edifying others. Go ahead.
Verse 4, it says, according as he has chosen us.
Right, he chose us. So out of the elect, you have a chosen, okay, which is what? The 1/3, okay? Go ahead.
Chosen us in him before the foundation of the world.
Meaning this thing was orchestrated or designed before the Most High gave that concept to his son Yahushua. Okay, go ahead.
That we should be holy and without blame.
Separated, okay, consecrated, and how so? Through the process of the initiation of being born again, man. Being renewed in the spirit.
And without blame before him in love.
Hey, without blame. And how do you show that your conduct in life? All right, first and foremost, having faith in Yahushua and keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments to the best of your abilities. Because remember, what did Yahushua say about the law? It hangs on these two concepts. Hey, the way you treat the Most High and the way you treat your brother.
You made a point about entertainers.
Uh-huh.
You said don't follow entertainers.
Come, bro.
And I went into the etymology of the word entertain. Yeah. And it says to entertain, to keep up, maintain, to keep someone in a certain frame of mind.
Low state. You know, because Esau knows, hey, if he keeps us in this lower state, what happens? He continues to rule. Now, we're not talking about these so-called crackers you work with daily. Most of them don't know shit. Yeah, they know about the microchip and so on and so forth. But we're talking about the nobility of Edom, who actually has the ability to summon left-hand spirits on the left-hand side. This is how they get down. This is where they get their intel from. This man cannot basically come up with these concepts unless he's been inspired by principalities, which are wicked fucking demons, man.
Hey, like he had brought that lower state, you know, and we know they use their television or networks for like witchcraft. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, back in like the early 90s or the late 80s, that's why they took all them kind of what you would call positive shows on TV, Cosby Show, A Different World, or Family Matters, you know, because one, that showed Jake in a whole family set with the mother, the father, brothers and sisters and everything, you know what I'm saying? That gave, you know what I'm saying, when Jake see that, they would kind of, you know, think, well, you know, that's the way it should be. So what they do, they replace that with fucking love and hip hop, you know, all that kind of malarkey, basketball wise, all that fucking malarkey, man. You know what I'm saying? And that started changing the whole mindset of the Israelites mainly, man. Cause I'm pretty sure Esau don't sit and watch that bullshit like that, man. It's Jake, man.
But you know, that goes to show you that entertainment is more than just amusement.
Right.
Entertainment is witchcraft.
Yeah.
It's programming. That's why they call it a TV program. I look at the word program. It goes back to pro means forth, and gram goes back to graphy, which means to write. So they're writing really in your mind.
Right.
They're programming you. They're writing data in your mind by way of the challenge, the TV challenge. Right.
It's like what we were talking about once before. When you go to the supermarket, you hear the elevator music, what they call it. You hear it, and once you constantly, because I used to work in a grocery store, and you know I couldn't stand some of that shit out here. But then you know you realize you fucking singing that shit.
Right. Hey, Hey, here's one of the other definitions for program. It says online etymology. All right, to train to behave in a predetermined way. So it says to train to behave in a predetermined way.
He's doing that right now with the mask. The mask mandate or whatever. He's conditioning you for this so-called way of life. You know what I'm saying? Like so-called normalcy or whatever. Yeah. So he's conditioning you right now. So majority of our people are already partaking to the image of the beast. And they're going to be already fully accepted when the market is implemented, man. It's all about conditioning, man.
That shit gonna be easy for them.
Yeah, it's going to be easy. Already. You got people who just riding by themselves with a mask on, man. You know?
Yeah.
Bro, like you said, he said this was like him trying to, you know, emasculate, you know, in the 40s and 50s. You know, that's what he saw. He had in World War II, he brought them with those Germans. You know, if I'm not mistaken, Apostle Bar, somebody mentioned this, if I'm not mistaken.
The songs is.
Yeah, they brought some taxes over. And what did they do? Those was like the, you know, we had like, you know, the elites or the priests of certain nations. They were like the smartest ones. Like the German team. So what did they do? They brought them over here, and that's where they got their so-called understanding of how to do the nuclear and also how to control our people. Because you got to think, them Germans, what did they got their people to do? put all their guns on the doorsteps and in the doors and on the porches and let everybody pick up and everybody had no weapons. Then they came down on us.
And that was first into that hill came up.
Yeah.
Germany.
Mind control.
Mind control.
The writer of 1984, he actually wrote that book in 1943 when he left Germany. Yeah, he did. He used a fictitious cover. All right, I guess it's still alive, but he wrote that after he left Germany, like in 1943.
Yeah. And you condition a person well because basically you want them to do your will when you're not around. So if they're programmed, you don't have to continue to tell them every 5 minutes to do something. No, you don't program them. Case in point. Get there. Because programming is in the scriptures. Go ahead. 16.
This is the book of John, chapter 21, verse 16. He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, Feed my sheep.
So what was Yahushua doing to Peter? He was programming. He was conditioning him to do his will. That's why he kept saying it over and over and over. A form of entertainment.
Yeah, and the laws were programming.
Yeah.
That's why you read about the same laws over and over
That's
again.
right.
The Apostle Gabar went into it years ago in Colcate. You basically program in Colcate basically be to do something repetitive.
Right.
So that's where you had what? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy goes back into second law.
That's right.
So it was the law being inculcated back in our people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And Esau knows that.
Yeah, he does his on the left hand.
Right.
Called that monarch programming. You know, it goes to the butterflies and things of that sort. Yeah, that's why you be seeing a lot of celebrities that be having butterflies on the magazines and pictures wherever they take. And you know that they're programming their left hand side.
Just like the cats.
Yep.
You know, in the book of Acts, where they had told the disciples, the apostles, not to teach in that name again, that had to be being repetitive. Preaching name Yahushua, programming people to know their name. That's why that was such a big issue, man.
Scary when you start
Right.
programming somebody, then they gonna start. It's gonna just trickle down.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
Yeah. And then now you don't even have to micromanage, you can actually macromanage. So you know, because micromanage is when you always around somebody, make sure you do it. But when you macromanage, okay, this is what I want you to do, I'm gonna go. Now I'm gonna come back later. See, Yahushua wants, he wants to macromanage. He doesn't want to micromanage your ass.
Right.
Each and every goddamn minute of your life. Do a video, be brotherly. No, he's gonna give you the concept, and when he comes back, he's gonna check and make sure you're doing what you're supposed to.
That's it. Like I said back on the God said, and this John 11 and starting 45. The many of the Jews which came to Mary had seen the things which Yahushua did, believed on him. But some of them with their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees in council and said, What do we, what this man do? Any miracles? So they saw the program that Yahushua was doing, the vibration of the apostles, what they was doing. And there was some things, you know, you read the book of Acts. They said, Many turned into the fold. Yeah. And it said, if we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
They don't want that spiritual program to continue on, man.
That's right. Matthew chapter 20, verse 1, kind of goes to the point you just made. It says, For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And he went out.
So let's break this down. The penny is what? The kingdom of heaven. The vineyard. Going back to what? Is that Isaiah the 5th chapter?
Yep.
That's right. Get that. Just to bring that point. You know, meaning what symbolically prophets doing the will of Yahushua in the form of what? Teaching. All right. I think it should be like Isaiah 5 and 7.
Yahushua said something too.
I knew you were going to do that. You can bring it up.
All right, this book of Matthew 9, verse, let's start at verse 36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted, and we were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Then said he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few.
Right.
Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest.
So you have two harvests. When you go into that Greek term, you have harvest when you're actually teaching, gathering the elect men, and also you have that second harvest is when Yahushua is coming back.
He said, pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he will send forth laborers unto his harvest.
Okay, all right. So what does a laborer does? A laborer has to do work in the vineyard. He has to maintain the vineyard. 1 point, go.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 7. For the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel.
That's it. All right. So only the house of Israel can receive this word. Only the house of Israel, beginning with the elect, can be born again. Now 2/3 of our people, they're going to hear it. And by them hearing this word, that's going to bring forth judgment. All right. That's it?
Yes.
All right. Back when you do.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that was the point that's going into how the kingdom of heaven is likened unto, you know, that vineyard, so to speak, you know.
Yep. And guess what? Yahushua hired prophets. Okay, he hired prophets, meaning what? He's not going to micromanage you. Okay, he believes in macromanaging. Okay, giving you the objective, and he's going back to the spirit world.
That's right. He said, occupy till I come.
That's it.
Occupy in that vineyard till I get back.
That's it.
So if you get caught not in the vineyard, you know, or you get caught not on your job, what usually happens on the job when you get caught not on your
You
job?
only get fired.
Yeah, you know.
This may have passed on to like entertainment.
We can bring it back.
Yeah. This is Psalms 141. Now I'm started verse 3 and 4. It says, set a watch, O Yahweh, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Incline not my ear to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity, and let me not eat of their dainty.
And then how you do that, you facilitate yourself within the scriptures, man. All right, because when you start going outside the scriptures and start bringing different concepts and approaches to your life from Esau, Edom, or sellouts within our nation, you're going off and you're going to be destroyed. Because can't nothing lead you into the kingdom of heaven except for the Holy Scriptures. Right? So you have to facilitate your mindset within the Scriptures, man.
That's what the Father said, to lean not to thine own understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, Proverbs 3.
That's
He
right.
said, lean not to thy own. And then when you look at how Jake can receive and some Jake can't, the Lord threw a parable in Mark 4 about the stony ground and the good ground, paraphrase. You know, some of them couldn't receive it. You know, but like I said, always when the Lord started, when the word started moving forward, the multitudes start coming in. Especially when they put the Lord to death, and what he did, he rose in 3 days. Then multitudes start coming in Acts, right?
That's right.
So,
That's right.
so that's what it is. This is basically going into the stony ground. So some of them, the multitude, they still not receiving it, but they want to come get some fish, loaves of bread or something. When they get through, they gone.
Yeah.
But the ones that's going into that good ground, that seed going in there and growing and flourishing, producing more fruit, they stand here. You know, that's why we're here now.
That's right.
You know.
All right.
Quick one.
Go ahead, bro.
Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 4, and he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them.
Hey, go to the house of Israel, right?
That's right.
And speaking, he didn't say go into the house of them, but Israel. Okay. Isaiah 40:15 said the other nations is like a drop of a bucket. 2 Ezra 6 and 50, around the 56th verse. These other nations are nothing. When the Lord say come to the house, when he's speaking to his people, he's talking about the nation of Israel in the Old Testament and going to the New Testament.
That's it. 1 Thessalonians 4:18. Wherefore, comfort one another with these words.
Comfort one another. Be brotherly. Okay? Comfort one another with these words. So you comfort them with these. So how can I comfort my brother?
1 Thessalonians 5 and 11. Wherefore, comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even also as ye do.
So edify, you know, if the brother is down, you know, listen to the brother if you have to, if he got something on his heart, okay, his life, which is your mind, you know, listen to him. If you feel like the brother, you know, you can be helpful to a brother, be helpful to a brother, okay? That's showing brotherly love. Okay?
Yeah. And the only way we can build each other up is by using the scriptures. That's what's gonna be used to build us up. Because this society teach you to basically be one with your emotions. You know, and that ain't doing nothing. They ain't did nothing for the people on this side, man.
And you know what? That goes back into what's that? Colossians, mortify them for your members. Emotion is part of your members. It's part of your flesh, man.
That's control.
Self-control.
Because Esau, when you ain't try to make the world so emotional, it's try to take the masculinity. Just keep masculinity in. You got to know the scriptures. Okay? That's why you want to be around like-minded men.
That's right. Girth thy loins, man. And because being emotional as a man will make you a real Mitch. And you don't want to be a Mitch, man.
Got you, man. As y'all said that. This is Ecclesiasticus 21 and verse 26. The heart of fools is in their mouth, but the mouth of the wise is in their heart.
Hey, better to listen than to just keep talking. You know, because you just keep talking and don't have no understanding, you become as a fool. You know?
Like you two ears and one mouth. Listen more and talk less.
And show you that's a female trait, man. He's yapping all the time, yapping, you know?
Heavenly Father, he commanded the men of Israel to be short in their speech, be a man of few words, so to speak. 1 Corinthians 14 and 26. How is it then, brethren, when ye come together, every one of you hath a song, hath a doctrine, hath a tongue, hath a revelation, hath an interpretation, that all things be done unto edifying.
Yeah. And that's it, just building up, man. That's what it's all about. Hey, this work's supposed to build each other up, man. All right, but like I stated before earlier, it starts with you. And then as you're building yourself up, then when that time frame comes, once Yahweh Shemashah is formed in you, then basically you start teaching others, man.
Hey, you know it works, because when you're in the truth and you constantly coming out doing the work on the highways and byways, doing the lessons, you may have brothers you don't even know that's in you. Hey man, let me ask you a question. About this. Let me ask you a question. That's gonna get you. That makes you feel good. You be like, oh Lord, y'all about me, I was shot. This brother seems like he's starting to wake up. You don't understand it. Because when everybody say it's time to wake up, they're not waking up to the how about me, I was shot. You know what I'm saying? They can still be waking up some type of wickedness. We woke. Let me read the Egyptian book of the dead. We woke now.
Yeah, so-called conscious.
Right back to dead.
I got precept for you. Back you up. Colossians 4 and 6. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man.
Hey, we got the salt. Okay, so we supposed to be teaching and preaching and bringing out the truth in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, bringing out this truth. Okay, but you got some that's out here to just go out here to try to preach and just come out with their own vain thoughts, going into Proverbs 3, lean not on your own vain. Well, Brooke paraphrasing, trust. Yeah, come. All right, so and we supposed to be going in wisdom and knowledge and understanding.
Right.
Okay.
And for Jake that step outside the scriptures, that's when you get messed up. Because you had this one guy that called into Sinetta and that little section he had with vocab. That was the apostle.
No, that's a name.
Yeah, his name.
But I think this was another guy.
Okay.
He had called in from some state. But basically, vocab made him look stupid.
Oh yeah, he was emotional.
He was emotional the whole time, and basically, because he was questioning vocab about free will, and vocab made him look dumb. We know according to the scriptures ain't no free will like that. Like that was easy. I'm like, man, this is embarrassing. Like we Israelites, you don't do that, man. But he got outside the scriptures, and that's how he lost.
Yep, that's what happened. I got precept for you. Mark chapter 9 verse 50. Salt is good, but if the salt have lost its saltness, wherewith will ye season it? Have salt in yourselves and have peace one with another.
And how you have that salt within yourselves and with the scriptures. Being laced up with the scriptures. And Lord willing, the Spirit activates it. But if you have salt, and if the shit ain't working, it's time to throw it away.
Yeah, you gotta switch it up.
You gotta switch it up, man.
You got that salt and you present it to people, that flavor, you feeding it.
That's right.
And then it tastes good to
That's
them.
it.
When you bringing out some bland words, you coming out your own vain opinion.
Yeah.
First of all, like you said, one of your favorites in Revelation 22, you end up adding or taking away from the scripture.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's gonna condemn you.
Yeah, now you giving them, instead of that salt, you giving them Mrs. Dash.
Yeah.
And this Mark 12:26, and as touching the dead that they rise, have you not read in the book of Moses how in the bush the Most High spake unto him, but really saying, I am the power of Abraham and the power of Isaac and the power of Jacob. He is not the power of the dead, but the power of the living.
And 2/3 of our people are dead. You know what I'm saying? So in a nutshell, he's not dealing with them. All right, he's only dealing with the living. So just because, you know, your mom or your dad is alive, if they're not in this truth, then basically they're dead to the Most High, man.
That's why they took the damn the jab so damn quick. They already destined to die. They just, you know, you don't like to talk about it or think about it, but it's a fact. It's true though.
So
You know,
I was pushed like
yeah, I'm like, dang, oh yeah, you took it too?
Yep.
You got it, brother.
That is going back to that programming. You know, you got that term called predictive programming. Y'all was going to, you know, TV. Basically, you know, it's all types of old shows where they were showing, okay, they wanted the people to have a mask, they wanted them to take a jab. It ain't no excuse for it. You still shouldn't have took it. But like people, they so warped. You know, ultimately, the Lord just gave them over to it.
Bro, when it comes to that jab, man, the brother showed me another video. Man, Esau done took it a step further, man. Where you can, they advertise from a strip club, you can go get a free lap dance, a limousine ride, and a bottle if you take the jab.
But see, now, you know what? That's what he thinking you niggas, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You low-level niggas, man. We went from goddamn it with a biscuit, Krispy Kreme, and now basically...
Fries, too. Fries, hamburgers, and fries.
Bro. French fries.
A lottery and shit.
And because the first gimmick was we're going to reach our poorest communities first, get this out to those that need it the most, the black community. With the black community, they give them the results that they were seeking. Right. Now they come up with incentives. You know what I'm saying? You get an automatic entry in the $1 million state lottery, you know, so on and so forth. Free meals, free lap dances.
Yeah.
It's baked. It's baked.
But that's low level, baby. At least give me 50,000.
But who likes those things?
Niggas.
Niggas.
Yeah.
He's so, you know, he's not targeting his own kind.
Nah.
Hey, but I see what the point you're making is, look at how he looks at what he thinks of you.
Yeah.
That's like the chicken sandwich.
That's low.
When it first came out.
That's
Like
low.
he thinks you're low level.
Yeah.
And you know, it made me think when that chicken sandwich came out, my reader was saying this sometimes, right after that chicken sandwich came out and people were eating enough of it, everybody, then the cold came out. The
Well, did they project that shit on Boondocks?
Yeah, they did something about some chicken flu.
Yeah.
Chicken flu.
Yeah, so they were
Chicken fried flu.
They were fighting and that's what they were doing.
And I'm talking about, bro, Jake has been loving chicken since the ancient world.
Yeah.
Remember when we came out of Egypt, that quail and manna? That was a chicken sandwich, man.
Yeah, because it was cooked in, like certain scriptures go to it being cooked into oil and flour.
Yeah.
It's fried chicken. You know?
They been cooking chicken for
Element
years.
online for incentive. It says setting the tune. And it also says, you know, setting your mindset, you know. And because pretty much when you get aroused and stimulated, go with Esau's cause.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
it's,
going to that point you made on one of your videos, I had reposted the chat. Can't repost it to YouTube unless than thousands. Who's counting? But anyway, the brother went into that term, what's that? A gift destroys the heart. Did something go into poison?
yeah, element online for gift, it goes into, you know, of course, that which is given. And it goes into, for the Swedish word back in Edelman, poison.
Poison. A gift destroys the heart.
Like that song. This girl is poison.
Yeah.
Just what's that? Just the big, what they said, just the big butt and the smile. Ever trust the big butt and the smile? Showing you that was a bait. That was like a snare. Same thing with this these incentives to get the jab, man. Why they put so much energy into that, man? Anything that has worth, they keep it away from niggas. Yeah, exactly. Why the sudden change, man?
Drive you to kill yourself.
And those commercials they got, this is our shot.
Yeah.
Like, when are we coming to cool with this shit?
It's the book of Job, chapter 13, verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value.
Yeah, because a physician's supposed to heal you. If a physician can't heal you, then that physician has no value.
Yeah.
You know, forgers. That actually goes into plastering. So now Esau utilizes his lies to plaster so-called truth. And his so-called falsified, going back to doctors, because doctors means to falsify, to dock up something.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think one of the top 5 deaths, maybe 3, is the misdiagnosis. Or they say somebody got something, such and such, but they really don't. That's like the top 3 deaths. But they hide that from the public view.
And it's heavy in Mississippi because now, if you do the research, a lot of doctors are leaving Mississippi because now they're saying that they can't afford the malpractice insurance. They've been killing so many people.
Yeah.
But then you can't go against them because basically why? They're protected.
It is heavy. If you're on this sign, you walk into the hospital, you really walk into like on death row. You really rolling the dice, especially if you're poor. I realize, man, from personal experience, if you low income, walking into a hospital, really that's like you walking straight into Satan. Because you an experiment. The reason why the shit free, because they experiment on your relatives. Your sister get pregnant, a child low income, got fucking interns poking her back, trying to get that right, what do you call it, epidural? Trying to get it right, so they gotta redo it. They can kill her, man. But when your ass low income, you really a lab rat, man. You a checking, you low income, you a lab rat.
Especially you got no insurance.
You got no insurance?
That's what it is.
You better, that's why it says, hey man, that's why I said we gonna stay on your how about you outside. That's why if you in this truth, you wake up to your nationality, you gotta embrace the things that pertains to your nationality, such as the way we're supposed to eat, the dietary law, we're resorting to the herbs. That's all pertaining to your nationality.
That's right.
You know?
Jeremiah 6:16. Thus said the Lord, stay in the ways and see, ask for the old paths.
Ask for the old paths, man. See, there's a narrative that you learned in Babylon that the old way was sort of primitive, but now we live in the tech world, and that's the best way to live. But why does everybody have cancer? Why does everybody have high blood pressure, diabetes, man? You gotta go back, huh?
Everybody got guts.
Everybody, everybody got guts, man. All right, yeah, because you got so much, you got like 20 pounds of toxins backed up in your gut. All right, and really one thing, and I speak as a man, but the 12 tribes should really stay away from processed food. Because one of the attacks on the 12 tribes, you already live in a concentrated environment. Then in those concentrated environments, what do they put at a low price? Processed food with no minerals. So you're eating food with no life in it. How can something give you life if it doesn't have life in it? All right, so that's why I said turn back to the old paths, man. Not just follow. Yeah, you gotta follow the dietary law, but keep in mind we didn't have no fucking McDonald's, all right, in our homeland. We didn't have a food that had a paragraph for ingredients, man.
And that's heavy because when you go into that term diet, it goes into how one leads his life. So the Most High gave us a standard on how to eat to keep us alive. And now this day and time frame, we got a spiritual diet to believe in Yahweh.
That's right.
Hey, 2 Ezra 8:31. For we and our fathers do languish of such diseases. But because of us sinners, thou should be called merciful.
Hey, well, you went into that we did that lesson, and really, we're diseased because we sin. We're in this lower state because we sin. When you wake up to your nationality, not only do you orally or spiritually resort back to your nationality and your power, but you physically do it too. I was like, my desire is to unplug from really as much as Babylon as I can.
Right.
The little addictions that we picked up, little vices that we picked up, I really want to let go of all that. If Esau created it, my goal is to really let go of it. Brother had a piece up.
This is 1 Peter 5, verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant.
Man, that's a heavy word. Be sober. Ultimately spiritually sober.
Right.
All right?
Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour.
You can break it down how you want to break
Good.
it down.
Hey, and like you said, his word, be sober. Okay, don't be drunk off this wine of Babylon juice. Like you say, Jesus juice. Okay, be vigilant, because we know what Esau. We're telling you what Esau doing. How we know through the scriptures. We're prophesying, what's about to happen.
Right.
Revelation 12:12. Esau's going to come down on us like a great wrath. No anybody have a short time. But we know if you covered by the wings of Habashim Yahushua, what does it say? His name, we're going to eat in those times. Because Jacob's trouble is basically here is just going to get ramped up. Okay?
And we already have the food shortages.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's all about that hedge. That's why, we've been bringing this scripture up a lot lately, going into how Yahushua told Peter how Satan has desired you. You know, exactly. But when you go into that term desire in the Greek, it's talking about how one goes to someone else. How one goes to someone else and asks them, can they have you? So the spirit world, Satan goes to Yahweh and say, hey, I want these elected individuals from Yahushua. Now, when you go back to the book of Job was covered as long as he had that hedge. Right. But still, when the Most High removed the hedge, he still had a hedge over Job because Satan could do any and everything, he just couldn't kill him. So he still had a form of hedge. So ain't nothing Satan can do.
And I gotta say this, Job's family members died.
Exactly.
So we gotta be in that spirit too.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So anytime to come, hey, a lot of our family not gonna make it, man.
Yeah.
Because the family that's gonna be the progenitor of the kingdom per se we're gonna start that.
That's right.
And we're gonna get different women or whatever to build.
Yeah.
But the Most High not dealing with 2/3 of our people.
You're right, brother.
You know?
You're right.
Pretty simple.
All right.
Psalms 82 and 5, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
All the foundations of the earth, because who's in rulership? You know how much plastic is in the ocean? But do you know how much the ocean has an effect on our livelihood? Because you got something called plankton, and plankton is responsible for the oxygen in the ocean.
Yeah.
And the oxygen in the ocean is really responsible for us. It's more oxygen from the ocean than on Earth with these trees. And the ocean is responsible for climate. See, Esau tell you about global warming, climate change. He don't tell you how much he fucked up the ocean, which probably alters the climate. The reason why you have climate change is because of the ocean. All right, that's just one thing.
Because I think it's more water than land.
Earth, yeah.
And yeah, the earth.
And that makes sense.
That makes sense.
You talk about all that trash. Now they say there's so many masks in the ocean. Off this look off a year. All these masks are in the ocean.
If Esau gave a fuck about your health so much, why does he sell you the same food that causes these diseases that cause the high mortality rate every year? If he's so stuck on you know what, why does he if that's the issue is your health, why does he constantly sell you cigarettes? Everybody knows cigarettes kills you. Why does he constantly sell you high fructose corn syrup, MSG, lard? He constantly sells you the thing that everybody knows that kills you. But when it comes to that one thing, you gotta do something. You gotta have the solution. Never trust our enemy, man.
Psalm 11 and 2. For lo, the wicked bend their bow, they make ready their arrow upon the string.
And it goes right into what's that? Psalms 37. The wicked watch over the righteous and seek to slay them. All right, that's bending their bow, man. These legislations, they're bending their bow, man. All right, and that's why I said Esau was a cunning hunter.
Right.
He's a cunning hunter. A cunning hunter. You don't see him coming. Esau was a man of the field. Esau was sitting in that same spot for hours. Camouflage.
And how he does that now in real time, he blends himself, making him seem like he's one of us.
Yep.
He's for your benefit.
Yep.
It's just
Cunning.
peace and safety.
Cunning.
That's what he does, man. Peace and safety. That's what he pushes out. You know?
Yep. Peace and safety.
They make ready their arrow upon the string, that they may privily shoot at the upright in heart.
And another example, Esau has those little instruments. If he wants to hunt deer, he has a little instrument that sound like a deer. So the deer think it's one of us. So what happens with Jake? Esau set up a leader, going back to Psalms 57 and 6. All right, a leader that calls like the snare. That's that artificial deer sound. And Jake is that deer that's thinking, oh, he's one of us. And he fall for the trap, man. You know?
Yep.
That's tough. That's tough.
So this is the question here for the foundations of the earth being out of course. The verse 3, it says, if the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do?
Yep. Going to it, brother.
Hey, you know, say, what can the righteous do? Nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Wait ye upon Yahweh Shah until I rise up to the prey. But understand that concept that the entire earth is out of course, meaning that the Heavenly Father did what? Surely those things are turned upside down, shall be esteemed as potter's clay.
Hey, you know, that's a strong point because so-called Jake or these so-called niggas, they be trying to rebuild this and change this and change that. But the scriptures just stated there's nothing we can do but wait on Yahweh Shah.
It makes you feel more.
Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna say something like that. Y'all seen Aquaman?
Yup, I saw it.
You seen Aquaman? And then you talk about the ocean, and that show all the trash that's doing in the ocean. So they said, so that the guy, I guess the king said, he said we gonna give him all that. He said shit, he gonna give him all that trash. So they do all the trash from the ocean back on the damn shore,
Yeah.
and it was shit from
Hey,
days.
you know what? I have reason. I don't know if it's gonna be through the nuclear destruction or the Most High gonna assign certain brothers to do it. I think that's gonna happen, man. It's gonna be the Most High. You know, the nuclear destruction is gonna have a general cleansing, but I have reason to believe that the Most High might assign certain brothers to just clean up certain things. But you know, you're gonna have spiritual power per se, so you're not gonna manually clean it up. But it's gonna be ways that we just kind of rebuild certain things, man. You know.
You know, Esau, man, he's there, because you heard mention a minute ago how when we talking to the ocean, they talking about how we gotta do something, we gotta fix it. Man, Esau, he's that guy who, he'll get a guy, murder him, take him out in the woods and hide him, and then come back out like, we gotta find him. Where is he, man? We gotta find him.
Man.
You know, he know the whole time what the fucking problem is.
He gonna help you on the surface. He gonna help you with the stick poke out, bro.
Mastermind.
But hey, it's a movie on Netflix. It's called, what's that, Caliber? I told you about it. I don't know
ain't
if you
never
watched
seen
it.
it yet.
But anyway, it's about two hunters. They had killed this little boy. They
Okay,
had like
yeah,
they didn't
yeah.
even know what happened to him, and they was out there with the search team.
Search.
Looking for him.
Yeah.
Motherfucker
That's
crazy.
Esau, man.
Mother crazy.
That's how low-minded our people has became, because Jake in the hood, they'll steal your shit.
Yeah.
They help you go try to find it.
Yeah. Jake do that.
Yeah. I think I want to answer your question, bro. It's book of Psalm 94, verse 16. It says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Hey, that's why Chris Abai said earlier, we're the leaders. Yeah. We're the leaders, man. And brothers have to look at themselves as such, man. Yeah. We are the seed and foundation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah. Everybody else is sold. Even certain Israelite camps. Everybody else is compromised. But that's why they don't rise up against the evildoers anymore.
Dumb dogs.
They dumb because they paid up by the evildoers. And we're the only ones, man.
Hey, because a guard dog, if the enemy or an intruder feeds that guard dog, that guard dog begins to do what? Not bark.
He stops barking. It's heavy.
The same way with these so-called preachers and prophets out here, these so-called people that are conscious, they stop telling you the truth because they getting thrown scraps.
That's it.
Entertainment.
I'm telling you,
I got a real quick
measly
one.
mud.
Hey, Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
It is not one man. That's representing the elect of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
That great army, man. That exceeding great armies.
Right.
Ezekiel 37, Revelations 11, that exceeding great army. All right. And this right here, this was a flaw in the program.
right.
This was not supposed to happen. Like you had the Oreo where they made a mistake and made the white Oreos. That's what's supposed to happen. Then they sold it. We're the Oreo. Sorry for that analogy, man.
That's a good one.
They give free labor because the brother was pulling it up a while back.
You mean to tell me to stop?
Yeah, right.
Hey, it was 100 million.
It was 100 million hours of free labor.
Right.
Of free labor.
And America profited 100 trillion.
Did they make a point, Anna? Hey, man, 100 million hours of free labor, and America profited 100 trillion, and that goes right into the scriptures. He made no account of our labor. Because what happened after slavery? All right, because you could say, well, that wasn't you, that was your ancestors. Well, why didn't they write our ancestors a severance check? Why didn't they write our ancestors 40 acres in the mirror? Not that we need it, because we want you. All right, you got to reimburse us on that 100 million hours of free labor and double up.
For the iniquity of their forefathers.
For the iniquity of the forefathers, man. Prepare slaughter for their children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
That's the real reparations.
That's the real, because reparation goes back to what? Repair. Restore. You got some of mine? I saw you with the scriptures over.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. Hey, we're at the end of this thing, man. But hey, yeah, for the hopeful elect, man, we gotta draw nigh to the Heavenly Father, man, and we gotta purge ourselves of any dross that's connected to our spirit that's holding us back, man. All right, because that's when you get rid of that dross and that leavening in your spirit, that's what's going to accelerate you in your how about Shai. All right, go ahead, man.
This is
We're going to wrap it up too.
Job 15 and 16. It says, how much more abominable and filthy is man, which drinketh iniquity like water.
Okay, come on. Go ahead, son. Can you repeat that?
Yes, this is Job 15:16. It says, how much more abominable and filthy is man which drinketh iniquity like water.
Yep. They're drinking the iniquity like water, man. All right. Ultimately, it's Esau.
Yep.
But Esau got our people doing it. Yep. Pressing, because it goes into Habakkuk, like pressing his neighbor to drink. You know, you got Jacob drinking your mindset. To put it in one word, our people are under the spell of westernization.
Right.
And really, we became Israelite Greeks. So basically, our people we're reliving the Hellenistic period, man. All right. Our people are reliving, all right, the Hellenistic period, which was the birth of Esau Edom. When Alexander came out, and then fast forward to the Roman Empire, that was Esau's mind governing the world. I saw a documentary, I think that was going to Florence, Italy, around like the birth, like the Renaissance period. Because before then, Jake was ruling. Like around Florence, Italy, around the 1400s. That's when they started having orgies. That's when homosexuality and pedophilia started coming back. During that Renaissance period. The rebirth of who? Esau Edom. So when he came into power, his mind governed the planet Earth. You know?
Real quickly.
All right, go ahead.
Real quick. Hosea chapter 8, verse 8. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure.
So you have a potter's shop, right? And the potter makes different vessels. All right? Well, guess what? The vessel that he really don't like, that's pushed off to the back. That's the vessel that he doesn't want to advertise. All right? Like you have a neighborhood, I'm watching the show Them. All right? Hey, I don't know if you saw the 4th episode yet. You watching Them? I don't know if you saw the 4th episode yet, but they showed you how like the bankers and the people who ran the districts, they have a meeting, okay, how they gonna keep the niggas out? Well, let's skyrocket the interest rate so the niggas either, if they can't afford it, that's a win for us. But if they can't afford it, they're still a win because we charge them 20% interest. That's one of the key things where we're a vessel where there's no pleasure. Esau systematically designed it to where we can't move into the nice neighborhoods.
So the Edomite bitch that was selling the Jakes the houses.
Yep, and like they gang shoes, but she was a part of the meeting.
Yep.
She was trying to be nice, but she had no power, so she just ran with it. And she and basically our people have been getting fucked since 1619, man. All right, you got it, brother.
This is Psalms 10, verse 8. That one came out.
We'll bring it out.
This says, I'm gonna start at verse 7. It says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud.
Yeah, fraud. That was fraudulent. They had some kind of redlining. You know what redlining is? I think it was after World War II. Jake started moving from the south to the west coast. Jake started moving from the south to the Midwest. And I think redlining is when, because you was an Israelite, you couldn't move into that fucking home.
Right.
You did all that, you know how gruesome the world wars were? And Jake were bulletproof vests in those fucking world wars. Jake was going on death missions in those world wars, man. But when you came to America, you couldn't even live in you couldn't even move to a neighborhood, man, that you want your family to live in, man. Even my grandma, she back in the spirit world, she wanted a house in Florida until they found out she was a Jake and she didn't get the fucking house, man. But they had some kind of redlining post-World War where if you was a nigga, you couldn't get that fucking house. That's why they try to say, you know, what did slavery have to do with us? Or, you know, you just got to go and get a job. You're this far ahead of us because you held us back for so fucking long, man. You got it, brother.
This is back in Psalm 10 and 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief.
I'm sorry. How do you manifest that cursing, deceit, and fraud? Through your media. You watch the news, the only fucking criminal doing anything is a nigga.
All the time.
Nobody else is doing anything but a member of the 12 tribes. Nobody else is murdering, killing. But that's propaganda against our people. That's telling the world. See, this is why we help them in prison. Don't get me wrong, niggas ain't shit.
Right.
But you create this false narrative that it's only Jake doing it.
Yeah.
When 80% of pedophiles are you.
That's right.
All right, you mastered the art of robbing a motherfucker, man. You know how to rob somebody on paper and not get arrested.
Yeah.
What do you call it? The fine print,
Yeah.
interest rate. The scripture said you're not supposed to exact usury, man.
That's all I do.
So if we're Christians, If Christians, then we're our brothers, right? If we're Christians, so they don't make us your brother.
Right.
So you're not supposed to exact usury on us, man. That's how you rob a motherfucker, man. All right? And you kill us through our diets. You kill us through abortion. All right? You kill us through dropping guns off. You got actual Israelites saying in the hood, they got guns on trains and they leave them there.
Yeah.
They got guns on trains and they leave them there.
Yep. In the alleys and everything.
In the alleys, man. You got 17-year-olds that got access to guns that a functioning adult man doesn't have access to. A 14-year-old got high-power assault rifles that a 30, 40-year-old grown man with a gun license don't have access to. That's how you kill us. You're the criminal, man.
Yep. Who dropped the crack off in the ghettos in the 80s?
That's a fucking trap, man. You dropped the crack off. I talked to my dad. He was like, man, you know, you had functioning men back in the 80s, and when that one member got on crack, it fucked up the whole household. You know, you're a truck driver, right, in the 80s, take care of your family or whatever. You get a hold of crack, now you strung out, your whole family's divided and conquered, man. That's how you the bad guy. It really, the way the Most High gonna have mercy on these people ultimately, because nigga, you set traps out for us, man. You got your own mind, you gotta make your own decisions, but you set them fucking traps out. You held us back, nigga.
They'll use Eve, their counterpart, give them Section 8.
Yep.
But what? The man can't be in a home with them.
What type of demonic warfare is that? That's the most natural union on earth is between a man and a woman. That's the most natural divine union that you learn when you're young. And Esau had the audacity to tell our women, look, I'll give you sex, I'll finance you as long as you keep that motherfucker out of here.
Right.
But the bankers all run their household.
Yep.
The elites run their shit.
Right.
You know? So go, and that's how you're the nigga, you're the criminal. You're the criminal.
That's how you push out masculinity too. When he, like you say, get you on drugs, and then he push you out the home and tell the Jake woman, hey, you keep him out the house, we'll give you money.
Yep.
Give you Section 8 and all this.
Yeah.
And then you got to raise the kids, the men, the little boys up with number of femininity that's pushing toward them.
And then now he's raised up to be a beta male because he's used to a woman running him. Because not a woman walking around with masculine energy, the single mother walking around with masculine energy, she playing two roles. Then the other way, you sold our women a lifestyle that sounded more promising than the lifestyle they already had. You sold them, look, you can be a career woman, you don't need no nigga. So either he got you through the Section 8 or through that career shit. And I've definitely seen how women are fucked up over that career shit. You know?
This is Psalms 10 and 8. It said, he sitteth in the lurking
You
places.
sit up in the lurking places because we don't see you in these meetings. We just see the results. We just see that you turn down these old buildings, kicking these homeless niggas out and putting condominiums here.
Right.
All we see is, for some odd reason, all the fucked up shit is in our neighborhood and all the nice glamorous stuff is in your neighborhood.
Right.
That's all we see, but we don't see the meetings that cause it. It wasn't erosion that caused it, it was you.
That's right.
All right?
Yes. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places do he murder the innocent.
In the secret places, goddamn abortion clinic, a peak abortion clinic. And then in Egypt, all right, millions of Israelite babies were killed, and that was a blatant genocide.
Right.
Even during the time of Herod, when they went after those Hebrew babies, because he was afraid that he was going to lose his power, and that was a blatant genocide. But you know how many millions of Israelites were murdered in the name of abortion? I think from 1978 to now, we're talking about 40 million? 40 million Israelites? And I think that's the Southern Kingdom they got on paper like that.
And your hospitals. Because I was just looking up the origin for that term. It goes into host. And that place hosts you to where? Death.
And you know how many women lose their babies? How many Israelite women lose their babies in the hospital? I mean, I forget the number, but the miscarriage rate is a lot higher than the Edomite women at the hospital, man.
And most of the time, I'm not saying exactly the same thing, but there was an article going to how when Israelite children deliver, the ones that die are mainly delivered by Edomites.
Edomite doctor.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now I was listening to jazz radio, the Jackson State radio. It was Israelite women talking like, look, we want to go to black doctors.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's what the article supported. And they said that they had a better chance if the doctors were Jake, when dealing with Jake compared to when dealing with Esau.
hey man, hey, you had more on that. I'm sorry. Are you can finish that off?
Yeah, it says his eyes are privily set against the poor.
Yep. Hey, it's privilege. That means there's an attention against the 12 tribes. The poor is symbolic for the 12 tribes, man. There's a motive against you. And it's scary to be in the hands of someone who thinks you're an animal. The cops, they're trained to deal with you like you're an animal. But ironically, Esau made Jacob an animal. When you took the father out of the household, you took the human out of Jacob. You took the civilization out of Jacob. Because the structure, a man disciplined his son. That's why it says in Isaiah 51, that son, they wait in the edge of your street as a wild bull in the net. Because nigga, you're untamed. That's why it says in 1 Ezra 4 that wine makes no distinction between the king and the fatherless child. Why did it say that between the king and a fatherless child? Because when you drunk, you're undisciplined. Just like a fatherless child. All right?
I did a video not too long ago going to his eyes and privilege set against the poor. They were showing like in Holmes County down here in Mississippi, I think the average income is like $22,000. But Esau offered to those jakes over there, or just in lower income communities, there's a thing called predatory lending. And you go to the word predatory, it says living or characterized by plundering, pillaging, or booty, spoil. You go to predatory lending, it says refers to unethical practices conducted by lending organizations during a loan organization process that are unfair, deceptive, or fraudulent. Because those jakes don't have enough income to pay those loans back.
Hey,
You know, due to their process of them being a poverty.
hey, like you said on the comment board, watch the show Them. This is like the 5th episode. And then Wells Fargo had to pay out $150 million because they did something called subprime mortgages, subprime loans, but it said to blacks and Hispanics. So they did subprime loans, meaning if you got 600 credit score and the Edomite got 600 credit score, well, he'll get that house with that 600 credit score, but I'm going to charge XYZ amount of the interest rate. But I'm not going to charge Edomite the same interest rate. It's called subprime mortgages, man. That's why the big pretty houses you see Edomites have, they might only be paying $800 a month. Unless you try to stay out there. $1,200, $1,500. They've been doing this since the 30s and 40s, man. That's to keep niggas over here and Esau over here, man.
Hey, can I say this?
Yep.
You know, say that loan,
Great Gulf things.
they know you can't pay it back. And this is what they gonna do. When they need that land, whatever, you can't pay it back. We own that shit. All the houses you live there, you can't pay it back. They can take it and build it, but you gotta get the fuck about it. That's true. And then they gonna do it down here like you put up. Your brother said that
Yeah, with Amazon.
Amazon. They gonna build something. 12 acres around here in Jackson.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, man. They gonna build some shit, and guess what? You there, you can't pay for it. Guess what? You gone.
Don't they do that with the crops and stuff? Monsanto, they'll go around and they'll throw seeds in your crops, and they'll go check the crops later on and be like, "Oh, these look like some of our crops. These GMOs right here.
And like
this
you
is
said,
our land right now."
Esau, I'm sorry. So like you said, Esau murdered somebody. They be like, hey, what happened? You gotta find them. Hey, cunning. Because those are all snares. A hunter sets out snares. Pastor El Kapar said like either fishing is from hunting. It makes sense. That little worm, that's the snare. That's the bait.
This is John chapter 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that I might have life and that they might have it more abundantly.
Hey, there you go. That's Esau. That's his little epithet. He's a thief. Everybody knows but Jake in America. Jake knows that shit's bad, and they got their hands wide open for Esau to feed them. But hey, anybody had a closing statement, closing comments? But with that, we hope you brothers were edified. Once again, we want to give our honor and glory to
Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem Kapudash.
double honor to our apostles, great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. And with that, a Baba Ball. Come down, Shalom. How about Shema Shabbat Shalom?
Shalom.
Hell yeah.